Before we can even begin to ask whether aliens exist, we must first confront a far deeper and more fundamental question: what is life? Humanity has built telescopes that can see the birth of galaxies and microscopes that can peer into the heart of cells, yet the essence of life remains elusive. We can describe its functions, we can analyze its patterns, but we cannot define its source. We know what life does, but not what it is. And this is the real mystery, because without understanding what life is, how can we possibly recognize it elsewhere in the universe? Science tells us that life is a combination of molecules arranged in a certain way, that it arises from the right mix of carbon, water and energy. But is that all? If life were only chemistry, then why does it move with intention? Why does it seek, grow and evolve? Why does a plant turn toward the sun, a bird build a nest, or a human being dream of other worlds? There seems to be something more, something beyond matter, something that animates, organizes and sustains. This animating force is what ancient traditions called prana, or life energy. It is not a mystical concept, it is an experiential truth. You do not need to believe in it, you are it. Without that spark, this body would simply be a collection of elements, no different from the soil beneath your feet. When we ask if there is life elsewhere, we assume that life will look like us, breathe like us, or think like us. But what if life takes forms beyond our imagination? What if life is not confined to biology at all? Our perception is bound by our senses, and our senses perceive only a narrow band of reality. We hear certain frequencies, see certain wavelengths, and feel only certain textures. Beyond that range, existence continues, but we are blind to it. The universe may be teeming with forms of life that do not register in our sensory field. Just as a fish might not know there is air above the water, we too may be unaware of other planes of existence, other dimensions of life vibrating at frequencies beyond our comprehension. The question, what is life, is not a question about biology, it is a question about consciousness. What makes a lump of earth become a living body? What turns food into thought or breath into awareness? Every breath you take, every cell that functions within you operates with a certain intelligence. You do not consciously direct your heartbeat, yet it beats. You do not instruct your cells to divide, yet they do. There is an organizing intelligence that works tirelessly, silently, holding together this miracle we call a human being. If such intelligence can exist within you, who is to say it does not exist beyond you? Manifesting in countless other ways throughout the cosmos. Perhaps the universe itself is alive. Not alive in the way we define organisms, but as a single, pulsating, intelligent field of energy and awareness. Stars are born and die, galaxies collide, atoms dance in eternal motion, all of it moving toward balance, toward harmony. If life means movement, growth, change and awareness, then the entire cosmos qualifies as a living entity. Our planet too is not a dead rock floating in space, it breathes through the oceans, it circulates energy through the atmosphere, it nurtures life in every form. To look at Earth from space is to see a living being in motion, wrapped in a delicate blue aura, spinning through the void with purpose. Yet human beings, in their pursuit of knowledge, often miss the simple truth that they themselves are the most direct evidence of life in the universe. You are life. You are the phenomenon you are trying to discover. The scientist studies distant planets to find signs of life while ignoring the miracle of his own existence. The real exploration begins when we turn our gaze inward and ask not, does life exist, but what is this that is alive in me? In that inquiry lies the key to understanding all forms of life, whether on this planet or another. Every moment, life is happening all around us in countless forms. The trees breathe, the rivers flow, the soil teems with invisible organisms, and the air vibrates with unseen activity. But because we are so absorbed in our thoughts, we miss the profound intelligence that orchestrates it all. Life is not something that happened once and is now struggling to survive, it is a continuous process of creation. It is spontaneous, dynamic and infinite. We are not separate from it, we are expressions of it. The same energy that causes a star to burn is the energy that beats in our hearts. The same force that moves the galaxies moves through our veins. If we could perceive life beyond its physical form, we would realize that existence itself is one seamless continuum. There is no boundary between living and non-living, between here and there, between us and them. These distinctions exist only in our minds. When we say life and death, we are merely describing two sides of the same process. Energy never disappears, it only changes form. In that sense, life is not confined to bodies, it is the very fabric of being. So, when we ask, do aliens exist, we are not really looking for creatures in flying saucers or distant planets. We are seeking to know whether life, this mysterious, intelligent presence extends beyond what we can see. But to even recognize life elsewhere, we must first become sensitive enough to feel it here. We must go beyond mere survival and begin to experience life as a phenomenon, not as a possession. Because life cannot be owned, it can only be lived. And once we experience it in its fullness, the question of where else it exists becomes secondary, because we begin to see that it is everywhere, in every particle, in every breath, in every corner of creation.